The inheritance of lies. I used to think the greatest betrayal would be falling in love again. A betrayal against my late husband, Mark, the love of my life. I thought I knew what his memory was worth and what I had to protect it from. But I was wrong. The real betrayal was a secret hidden in plain sight, and the only person who could help me see it was the one person I was never supposed to want. The boy I always knew, who came back as the man I couldn't resist. When Mark died, my world didn't just stop, it shattered. His business partner, David, a man 20 years our senior, became my lifeline. After the accident, David managed Mark's share of the company, made sure I was taken care of, and treated me like a daughter. I owed him everything. His son, Liam, was always just there. A part of the perfect, happy life that was now just a ghost. I remember this one barbecue, the summer before Liam left for college. Mark was at the grill, laughing, that easy smile of his making my heart ache even now. David was holding court by the patio table, telling a story about one of their first business deals, painting himself and Mark as invincible titans. I felt so safe. Then there was Liam. 17, and all knees and elbows. He'd been staring at me all day. He finally worked up the nerve to bring me a lemonade, but he was so focused on not spilling it that he tripped over the leg of a lawn chair. Lemonade went flying everywhere. He turned a shade of red I'd never seen before. I just smiled and handed him a napkin. He was so sweet, so harmless. He was just a kid. 4 years went by. Then, one Tuesday in June, my doorbell rang. I was expecting the kid I remembered. But the person standing on my porch was not a kid. The lanky frame was gone, replaced by broad shoulders that filled the doorway. His eyes were the same, but the shy adoration was gone, replaced by a direct, unnerving intensity. He wasn't looking at me like I was his dad's friend. He was looking at me like a man looks at a woman. "Chloe," he said, and his voice was deeper, a low baritone that vibrated through me. "It's good to see you." He reached out to shake my hand. His grip was warm and firm, and it lingered just a second too long. My heart did a stutter step in my chest. My one simple rule, do not cross this line, suddenly felt terrifyingly fragile. David asked me to help Liam get acquainted with the business, starting with Mark's old files. Being in Mark's office with him felt charged. The air was thick with memories, with the unspoken ghost between us. Liam leaned against the desk, so close, I could smell the faint, clean scent of his cologne. "My dad says you're doing okay," he said, his voice soft. "But, are you happy, Chloe?" No one had asked me that in years. The question was so direct, it disarmed me completely. I looked up and met his gaze, and, for a dizzying moment, I forgot everything. I just saw him. And I felt a terrifying, undeniable pull. I had to get out of that room. It started with a single file. One night, Liam was helping me find an old business proposal for a project. He found it, but then he found another folder, one Mark had labeled private valuations. "That's weird," Liam murmured. He pointed at the screen. "This is a private email from my dad's lawyer to him, dated October 2020. The company valuation is listed at $8 million. I didn't understand. But this. He clicked another file, is the official memo he sent to Mark that same week. Here, he's telling Mark the valuation is only $4 million. I tried to make excuses, a different accounting method, a typo. But he kept clicking, kept opening files. It was a pattern. 4 years. 2 sets of numbers. A high one for the bank and his lawyers, and a low one for Mark. Thread by thread, email by email, we unraveled a decade of deceit. The final piece, clicked into place around 3 a.m. The silence was deafening. My whole body was shaking. It wasn't sadness. It was a volcanic rage. Every kind word David had ever said to me, every comforting hug, every promise to protect Mark's legacy, it was all a performance. A lie to keep me docile while he held on to a company he had stolen from a dead man. He had used my grief as a shield for his greed. I can't believe it, Liam whispered, his own face ashen. He was seeing his father, his hero, for what he was, a thief. In that moment of shared devastation, we weren't a widow and her crush. We were the only two people in the world who knew the truth. The forbidden spark between us was instantly transformed. It was no longer about lust, it was about justice. We became a team united by a singular, painful purpose. The stolen glances became strategic meetings. David saw us spending time together and assumed it was a harmless flirtation. He had no idea we were building a case against him from the inside out, preparing for the fight of our lives. The confrontation was brutal. David tried to lie, to manipulate, to appeal to Liam's loyalty as a son. Then he turned to me. "Chloe," he said, "after all I've done for you, how can you do this?" I met his gaze, my voice ice. "The only person confused here, David, is you. If you think I'm still the grieving girl you can manipulate. We have everything." Liam stood by me, his silence a powerful statement. He chose the truth. He chose Mark. He chose me. After the lawyers were done, after the truth was finally out, Liam walked me home. The weight of the past was finally gone. He stopped at my door and took my hands. "Chloe," he said, his voice raw with emotion. "I've been in love with you since I was 17. I know, everything is a mess. But I'm not a boy anymore. And I'm not going anywhere." For the first time, it didn't feel wrong. It didn't feel like a betrayal. It felt like hope. I stepped forward and I kissed him. It wasn't a spark. It was a quiet, steady flame I never thought I'd feel again. I thought my story was about losing love. But it was about finding it in the wreckage and realizing the truth was him. Thank you for listening to my story. If you believe love can be found in the most unexpected of places, let me know in the comments. And for more true-to-life stories about love, loss, and the strength it takes to start over, please like this video and subscribe. You never know where your own story might lead.